Let me know if you could hear me. I got Ricky, I got B, I got Zero Cool. What up, boys?
Yeah, we hear you, Sneed.
Excellent. And to the live chatters and those that are, I guess, the 2 Live crew, if you guys can hear us. B, what up? Ricky, what up?
Gentlemen.
Salute, man. What up, Rick? You there? Maybe Rick stepped away. We'll see if we can get him back. Anyways, happy Sunday to everybody. It's really weird not having any football to watch, man. Here. Oh, there you are. What's up, Rick?
What was going on here? Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know why you couldn't hear me.
Oh, now we can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
I am actually on my S24 Ultra that I won.
Yo, Rick, talk to me about this whole process of how you won that damn phone, man.
I just went on 20 different random, you know, how people say, oh, here, sign this up and blah. I just went to 20 random people. And then I got an email saying I won. It's like, I thought it was a damn scam at first. It's like, what the hell?
Right.
So it's like, I didn't believe it. It's like, oh, yeah, this scammer. And then it says, watch soon for your tracking number. The order will be drop shipped from Samsung pre-orders. And I was like, what? At first, I thought it was maybe possibly like you guys all got together and bought me a phone and sent it to me. I thought that was what it was at first because it wasn't too much information. But and all of a sudden, I got the tracking number, and then it said the model number. So I looked it up, and it's a green S24 Ultra, exclusive color. It's like, holy crap, $1,600 phone. And it arrived a week ago.
That's awesome, Rick. Happy for you, man. It's a great phone.
And this is crazy. So,
yeah.
And I don't know. I never win nothing. It's crazy. But I'm telling you what, this phone is fabulous.
So you're coming out of a 23 Ultra, right?
Yeah, 23 Ultra. Yeah, okay. And people are saying,
"Oh, about the upgrades, Rick."
The new phone is not that better. It's not that better. It's not that. But I can instantly tell. I mean, when I go on the screen, I'm doing stuff. It's like, wow, this thing is so much snappier. And there's a lot more RAM left over now because they did the RAM upgrade. The screen, oh my God, is bright sunshine out, right? That anti-glare film that they put on that thing, oh my goodness. There's no glare from the sun. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm out there in the sun just looking at the screen. It's like, you know how when the sun's out, you go find your own shadow to cover your phone so you can see it?
Right. Yeah.
Now I don't have to do that. I can just stand out there and just look. Yeah, so that's a great thing. The X75 modem is amazing. I just found a new N261 node at the airport when I was picking my brother up today. It's not even on the map. I'm getting ready to send you a picture of it. According to the map, that node doesn't even exist. So it looks kind of new. And I bet you it is new. It's brand spanking new. It's got 800 megahertz of N261. I did speed test and it was 5 gigs. It's like, what? And it was like 670 up or something.
You're still at an 8 carrier aggregation on that too. So
exactly. Well, the QAM is better because whatever this upgrade did, this new modem this new node probably has the advanced 5G in it, and that's what's good on the X75. Advanced 5G, man. Release 18. 5G advanced, real 5G. Not this fake 5G anymore.
I don't know, man. I was talking to Carlos, and he seemed to be kind of like, I don't know, unconvinced of the RF upgrades. He doesn't really see it. But
well, you got to remember, the site has to be either improved in certain ways or the actual full-blown 5G advanced. So if the site isn't upgraded to match the phone, and then it's not going to, you know, there's multiple things. Plus, you can have the upgraded phone, upgraded site, but if the backhaul's crap, you're not going to see the performance either. So it's a mixture of everything has to be just right, and you're going to have. Now, yesterday, I was driving in the northwest side of the valley towards Centennial Hills, and I was doing speed tests along there. I found an N77 site with 160 megahertz of N77. I got 1.3 gigs down and something like, I forget what the upload was, but it was pretty high too. It was like
Like
three or
100
400
plus.
up.
Yeah.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
crazy, and that's N77. So evidently that had a big backhaul upgrade on it. So,
Sure.
but yeah, there's some exciting things happening, but there are still just as many poopy sites as there is great sites. I'm telling you right now.
You got
I
high
mean,
standards, Rick, because I mean I've
it's
been using this stuff for a while, man, and I'm pretty satisfied. The
it's
networks
hit
are
or miss,
reliable,
man.
the networks are capacitive,
Okay,
they've
so I'm
scaled
on the
me,
strip and I hit one of them small cells, right? That they got on the strip.
right?
Small cell only, LTE with DC with N77 coming from a distance. Guess what the speed was? 50 down and 20 up.
Yeah, because it's not from the serving cell.
It's crazy. The DC sucks. They need to just turn this shit off, is what they need to do.
But they gotta have that icon, man.
Yep, that's what it's boiled down. It's about deception and lies, just like T-Mobile from day one. Skunk-a-doodle-doo. Yeah, but my
Who
brother's in,
knows,
in
man?
town. He's staying to Bellagio. We went to Archie's Thai. We got some food. Went to one of the gun stores there and was looking at all the nice new guns that's coming out and stuff. And it was great. There's lots of stuff to do here. He's going to have fun here for 4 or 5 days. It's going to rain like hell the next 2 days. Big storm up in Mount Charleston, 2 to 3 feet of snow.
Straight up.
It's crazy. Yeah, big storm. A swirling low pressure off the coast of Las Vegas
We've
or
gotten lucky this winter. It's
California.
been easy for us, honestly, man. We haven't had too
Yeah,
much. Yeah, it's been easy
well
going
that's
for us.
good. Well, the desert's been kind of rainy, so that's okay. All the everything else is great. Eat,
And
sleep,
good stuff.
work, play with tech.
There you go. All right, man. First story of the eve. This one's a quick one just to give you guys updates because I know a lot of you have Netflix. Some of you are paying for it outright. Some of you are getting it through your T-Mobile account. Netflix added 13.1 million subscribers despite a price increase. All right, let's see what some of the deets are here. Okay, so adding the 13.1 million paid subs for the fourth quarter shows, I think, strength for the company. Basically, every quarter, I don't know if it's like 2-3 times a year at least, they seem to raise prices or kind of change the way that they bill with respect to Netflix plans. Like I know they changed, some plan offers to like, the ad version and the paid, you know, to get the ads removed. And then they started doing the ad based one for $6.99. They changed a bunch of stuff, and then they started doing the password sharing lockdown, and crackdown and all that. So they have 260 million subscribers worldwide. This is, I'm going to go ahead and say, probably the largest streaming service in the world. They obviously are going to try to continue to offer the most when it comes to studios and shows and movies, and try to get like a bunch of Netflix exclusives on top of getting what they think people want to see as well. Now they're getting into live sports, from what I understand. They've been, I don't know, rearranging a whole bunch of things and structure to their plans. But like I said, basically every quarter or two, there's rumblings of a price hike. There's talks of a change in plans and tiers and all this. And it literally doesn't matter. They continue to add subscribers. They continue to grow. And I guess it's just people need to have their Netflix, man. People need to have their streaming. So I'll start with B. B, I know you got the Get More plan, and I know you get a lot of your streaming through that plan, that account. But what's kind of your take on Netflix and kind of how they're navigating the waters with their monetization approach, and despite the price hikes, they still continue to grow.
Well, thank you for having me again, Sneed. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, man, I would say that Netflix is a really, really good company. Seem to be run pretty well, and I think that they are confident in their product and their business. Their overall value proposition to the market, and so they raise prices as they see fit based on the needs of their individual business, and consumers seem to be okay enough with their product to continue to pay. I see no problems with that. Don't have a problem with it at all. There are several ways to do business with Netflix now. You have a carrier like Verizon. They have all these different bundle packages that allow you to save a few bucks and everything like that. So I think that's the best way to do the streaming thing is to get in through a carrier or something along those lines. But Netflix is a good company, man. They've got good content. They've got stuff that people want to look at. So I got no problem with it at all.
Solid. Zero Cool. Do you have Netflix? If so, are you paying outright or is it included in any of your bundles or services?
I have Netflix, and I have it through T-Mobile. I've had it since pretty much when they launched, the Netflix on us, right? And now I have the Hulu on us through T-Mobile, right? So I think it's definitely one thing that's at least true that Steve said was the value add, right? You get the free Netflix and Hulu, and that continues to be, even though Netflix are increasing the price. You still get that free through T-Mobile, right? And that's one thing that customers, in my opinion, should hold on to, right? Because we see the price increases not just for standalone services like Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, but we see the raising of prices with, like, for example, DirecTV Stream, YouTube TV, right? So, especially also with the price lock, right? With T-Mobile is also good. So if you're a legacy price lock customer, right? So, but I think what I noticed, at least in the Netflix world, is that they're actually adding some more good content. They're adding some good shows. I watched a couple good series that was pretty memorable. One of them was called All the Light We Cannot See, which is a nice, show series on Netflix, right? So, I think customers are sticking with Netflix because a couple of reasons, not just because of the T-Mobile deal that they have with them, but because they know that Netflix is going to produce good content, good movies. They know that Netflix is going to have that content available. Except for big shows like, Game of Thrones, like an HBO Max, but I just can't, that's one thing that these two services have that we can count on is good content, right? So that's, again, why, they're going to keep on adding customers no matter how many times they, raise the price. I don't see like necessarily drastic price increases. Maybe $1 or $2 here is fine, $5, whatever. But I think it's good. They have to pay to play, right? As we say, right? So I think it's good. I think it's good that T-Mobile still has the Netflix on us as well as the Hulu, and hopefully it'll be nice to see T-Mobile, even though they don't own the HBO Max, but it'd be nice to see if they could secure some kind of deal to have the HBO Max on us. I think that would be really nice, but I don't see that happening. But again, people stay for the content, not necessarily, price increases. So.
Solid. Rick, do you have Netflix? If so, do you pay for it as included in any of your bundles, or are you not really into streaming? What's your situation?
Well, when I was in the Keys where I had time to watch a little bit of TV, I had Netflix. But since I came here and I've been working like crazy, and it's kind of just not much time to watch TV. But I do like Netflix over Hulu. Hulu has a few more TV series that you can watch, and Netflix is kind of delayed. Sometimes it's a year later before the new season comes out, so you
Yeah,
have to wait.
right.
But I like both services; they're pretty good. But as far as getting it for your package, I don't have my own personal plan, because I got Los Mobile, so there's no add-ons or anything like that. But even the add-ons I saw wasn't very good because if they give you an add-on, I think the one that they give you is the Netflix with ads. And I like the Netflix with the 4K since I have a 4K TV. I don't
Mhm.
want ads. I hate ads. I cannot stand ads because ads are geared to the crazy people in society to make them buy stuff. and I just can't stand it because some of these
Yeah.
commercials are so stupid. When I watch that commercial, I say, okay, now I just watched your stupid commercial. Now I absolutely do not want to buy your product. That's just what it does to me. But I'm kind of a weird, different person.
Yeah,
But
that's funny.
it's nice to have Netflix and stuff because streaming is in, because cable's out, because it's so overpriced, and everybody's sick and tired of being screwed, and times are tough, you know. But I did see an interesting ad. It was talking about Netflix, and they raised the price. They lost a lot of people, so they said, "Oh crap, what do we do now?" But actually, what they did, they turned around and introduced another ad plan that is a reduced price, but with ads. And you
Hmm.
know, their subscriber count went up with the ads. I
Correct.
don't understand. People are
Well, they're
willing to
different than
watch
you,
those
Rick.
stupid nonsense ads to save money. But
Yeah.
like you just said, I'm a deer. They drive me crazy. I don't like them. So, but
Hey,
people are willing to put up
right.
with ads to save some
Negotiate it.
money because times are tough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to Joel Brown. Thank you for the super chat, my brother. Thank you so much. Breaking the seal. He said, "Hey fellas, how can prepaid carriers offer such cheap prices?" So here's what they do, Joel. The basic premise
Hmm.
is a prepaid carrier is going to lease access on a mobile network operator's network, right? So they can choose who they want to do business with, or sometimes they operate, through multiple networks, like what TracFone used to do and stuff like that. But basically, they buy in bulk, right? They're gonna get a wholesale agreement with the mobile network operator of choice. Say it's Verizon, say it's AT&T or T-Mobile or Dish, whatever. They'll just use their network and then they'll sell service over it. They'll use their branding. They'll use their people, their
Customer
resources.
service. Yep.
Yeah, their customer care. But what they do is they try to make their business really basic, right? They're not going to have 500,000 stores nationwide. They're not going to have
Hmm.
expensive advertisements that they're going to run in heavy rotation on
Yep.
national network television during NFL games and NBA games, right? Those
Yep.
things are completely out of the question, right? So it's going to basically be a small time operation in which the prepaid carrier gets access to a network and they're going to try to sell to folks based on brand perception, try to maintain a loyal base, try to offer good customer care, fair prices that while they may have some slim margins, hopefully those margins are good enough to where they can operate, still make some money. And they distinguish themselves, they try to, from the bigger carriers, right? So
Yep.
if I could give you an example of a brand that is successful is Mint Mobile. Like they
Hmm.
piggyback on the T-Mobile network. They have like literally the industry's best customer care.
Hmm.
They keep things simple, right? When it comes to pricing,
Don't have to
there's
worry about being hacked.
yeah, because you can put your name in there as Tony Stark, right? You could be John Wayne.
Yeah.
You could
Or you can be
yeah.
John Ledger.
Yes, you could be whoever you want. So like there's benefits to prepaid and the fact that you pay for service, then you get your service means if your
Hmm.
payment doesn't go through, or there's like an issue, it's not dinging your credit, right? So there's so many pros, but there's also cons, right?
Yeah.
But
Like
the
speed
way that they
caps,
make
status
money is just by
throttling.
keeping their
Hmm.
operations slim, so they don't have a lot of overhead. Yep, that's how that works. Thank you for the super chat, man. And if you have any other questions, by all means, do drop them in the comment section, and we gladly answer them for you.
Yeah, we here for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Lots of knowledge
Oh,
in this chat.
Ricky, you're gonna like this one, dude.
Oh, I am.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
know.
Yes, so true.
Cable keeps lagging in customer satisfaction compared to fiber and fixed wireless access. Yes, sir. All right, let's see here. Cable providers are still falling behind in customer satisfaction, especially when it comes to cost. According to a survey, it says here, ISPs, when it comes to overall satisfaction, were either fiber or fixed wireless. Those were the winners. Google Fiber, T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T. Meanwhile, Xfinity, Spectrum, and Cox all hovered at or below 50% approval ratings for price satisfaction. So they got a cost problem. Xfinity, Spectrum, and Cox are all overpriced, and customers are not happy about it. Customers know that they should be paying more. They shouldn't be paying more for the same internet plans, and they're increasingly aware of alternatives outside of the major providers. So I think what's happening to the gents here on the panel and to the live chat, the marketing from the fixed wireless access providers is working. People know that T-Mobile and Verizon sell home internet now, and you've got companies like Google Fiber willing to sell 1 gig and 2 gig plans for like 50, 60, $70, right? Fiber providers coming in ready to give people symmetrical speeds, high speeds for fair prices, 50, 60, 70, $80. These cable providers are like, they're like dinosaurs. They're like relics. They think they can continue to do the same things that they've done in the past back when there wasn't any competition. But now you got fiber kicking your back in, and you got fixed wireless access stealing your lunch. So with the second part here, it says fixed wireless and fiber are still contending for the top spots in consumer surveys. 77% of customers said that they were fully or highly satisfied with their service, indicating that fixed wireless access offering has become a viable alternative to cable. So this is where the disconnect is here. And we have this conversation all the time, you know, especially when certain cable positive folks chime in on this. I don't think cable really understands what they're doing to themselves. They cannot continue to operate business like they don't have competition. Fixed wireless access is growing at an incredible pace. Fiber providers are building, right? We've got B dollars all over the place. I want to bring B in on this one. B, how long do you think it is before cable actually makes the proper adjustment? There's no way they could continue just getting their back blown in like this, right?
What is the proper adjustment, Sneed?
You have to be more price competitive. It's that's what this boils down to. It's pricing. So their explosive pricing model is no longer viable when fixed wireless access is coming in, you know, 20, 30% cheaper with a quote unquote inferior product, but taking your lunch, right? Like, so,
Yeah.
and with fiber providers offering a superior experience, I mean, what are we, when is cable going to wake up and smell the coffee?
I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I don't know. I'm not sure. Um, in order to fix what's broken, they're going to have to take less in order to try to gain some market share. And I think they're just kind of trying to prolong the inevitable at this point. But I mean, I don't have an answer for you, man. I really don't know when they're going to get their act together. I don't know. I'm not sure.
There's a customer survey that I was reading. I got to find it. But it was basically saying 90% of people who have left cable for fixed wireless say they will never go back to cable. That means that fixed wireless is going to have to fail for them to leave, like absolutely fail. And I don't expect the Verizon service to fail at all. And I think T-Mobile can hold on to a bulk of their customers too. And with AT&T now offering, you know, internet air, and I expect that service to improve and get better and scale, you know, more so in the future. These customers don't want to do business with cable, B.
Got
You're
bad
right.
taste in
It's
their
true.
mouth.
Like, look at Ricky. Ricky had a high capacity option at his old place in the Keys, and he ditched it for Verizon. Ricky, do you want to share your experience and why you left?
Yeah, I was paying for 1.2 gigs, and I wasn't getting it. I was getting 30 to 40. I couldn't even do a live stream without people saying, "Ricky, you're buffering," and I'm at home on Comcast. Really? So yeah, I was just finally tired of it. They upgraded my tower to N77. I got the Verizon Home Internet, put it in there, 300 up or 300 down, 20 up for $80 a month with that cloud service, cloud backup service, whatever, and unlimited data. It was solid. Never had any problems. Could live stream like crazy. When the fixed wireless access people are actually providing that service cheaper than what the other people are, and it's reliable, guaranteed, it's awesome. Comcast price was just way, way too high. I mean, they went $150 for that mess that they couldn't even provide. So, so yeah, I dumped them. But of course, I just dumped my Verizon home internet because I have CenturyLink fiber here at my new place I'm at. So I get 1 gig down, 1 gig up, and the ping is 5.
Pricing?
So I'm happy.
What's your pricing, Rick, on that?
Well, I think my landlord says he pays $115 a month with the taxes and fees and everything.
Yeah, there's definitely a
That's a
price
little. That's
difference
that's
between.
still a little pricey, but at least you got
Sure.
dependable service.
Yeah. See, and that's another thing. If you ask anybody who lives out in the boonies, actually ask anyone who's been stuck with cable, they'll pay a premium to get a fiber experience.
True.
I mean, it's just it's the ultimate in connectivity. So I think a lot of people would agree and would pay a little bit extra to get that type of experience. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and I hope you see the chat in there. 15 months, buddy. Buy some SMT coffee and hit that like button, please, guys.
Yeah,
The
man.
big
Thanks, Rick.
YouTuber
Appreciate
is
it. Big salute to
doing
you.
a great job. This was a great,
Zero Cool.
great
Chime in on
show.
this for us, man. Chime in on the Zero Cool. Tell us about this survey and kind of, I don't know, your perceptions of the consumer and kind of how they look at cable with satisfaction and
Yeah,
pride.
Caleb, the cable guy. We want to know what you think.
I will tell you what I think, and I am so happy and so glad we are talking about this tonight. I'll tell you why. I am a true believer in FWA as right now. I am actually streaming the Grammys in 4K off my T-Mobile FWA internet service off, and this is off of 1 bar of service. Okay. Now the cool part about the future is obviously in fiber and FWA. Cable can't. It doesn't have a couple aspects. It doesn't have the capacity that fiber has, and as well as compared to millimeter wave. Now, and the second aspect is which is what I am so happy about. With soon in the near future, right when 5G standalone is a true product across all carriers, it's no longer, especially this is going to hold true, especially when LTE is decommissioned. But it's not going to be fixed wireless access. It's going to be more of an MWA. So what is that? It's mobile wireless access, meaning you're going to be able to take, also based off E901 because your phone's going to look the same way. And it's going to work better than a hotspot. You're going to be able to take your T-Mobile home internet router anywhere, right? It's not going to be dependent on just your location. So it's going to be more mobile based, and that's exactly what T-Mobile, is striving for, right? Because we're trying to live in a mobile connected world to where you want a high capacity connection, high capacity circuits, and be able to do what you want to do, whether it's like load up video services, watch TV, streaming, what have you. And the benefit, you're not tied down to a physical location like you are with a coaxial cable. With FWA, you can have the freedom to go where you want. And I think just the cool part is with FWA, you're not restricted really to any. I mean, in my eyes, you're not restricted to, as far as like streaming services go, right? It works fine on YouTube TV. It works fine on, DirecTV Stream. I actually tested both yesterday. So kudos to YouTube TV, because they're recently, putting everything in 1080p, right? So with FWA, the customer satisfaction is also a lot better because not just it's price wise, but you do have the option to say, okay, I want to be mobile. I want to be, be able to use hotspots, use pucks, use, a gateway service and take it and use it anywhere, right? So with cable, you're just tethered. That's the sucky part of it, right? Imagine you're trying to leave your room and you had to hold on to this coaxial cable. Well, guess what? You can't go anywhere because you're still, you're
Well,
still
people
tied
like
to it.
that flexibility, Zero Cool. They like it for like business use cases. They like it for traveling. Like there's a lot
Absolutely.
of application and flexibility with it.
Absolutely. And that's the point I'm making, right? Especially also with, with companies like Starlink too. They just came out with the version was version 5 of their dish, right? So, and then Best Buy is selling it as well as too, right? So, again, it's we're not tied to, especially with these high capacity, high bandwidth circuits and applications. You're not tied down just to your home anymore, right? You had the freedom to say, okay, eventually once standalone gets here, in true form, you're gonna have the
Years
10,
away.
you're gonna have the 10 gigabyte gateway either from fiber or either from a millimeter wave, right? But you're not just gonna have that at the home. You're gonna have the freedom to say, okay, hey, I want to go away for a weekend. You're gonna be able to take your 10 gigabyte router, FWA or router. It's gonna be like a mobile wireless access router pretty much once standalone gets there, and you're going to have that 10 gigabyte connection. That's why I'm so excited about it, because not only it works great now, right? But you're going to have that more flexibility, more freedom to roam around and move, and you're not just going to be tied down to a coaxial line. I mean, look what AT&T did, right? They're not they discontinued their DSL, right? You just showed the video earlier. They're losing subs to FWA. So this proves my point. Now, as far as what the cable companies are doing, they're giving away. They see this. They're not dumb. Like, they see this, so they're starting with the Xfinity and Spectrum. They're starting with the Zumo box. They're not allowing any more video signups. So they're starting with the Zumo streaming box, right? So what does that tell you? They're going to get into eventually to try to be more mobile. I mean, you could take as long as you have a high speed connection, you can take that Zumo box anywhere, right? So. Um, this is just, I think the carriers definitely get it. So it's just, it's about the freedom to be flexible and mobile and to have that capacity where and when you need it.
All right, Zero Cool. Check this out right here, bruh.
And also, I have Cox fiber, not CenturyLink. My bad.
Yo, check this out right here. I want to show you guys.
Oh, that's beautiful. 5 gigs.
Yep.
So Ricky shared this with me. Ricky, tell them about your testing. What phone we're using? Tell them about the hardware on the site and kind of what you experienced.
Yeah, it's S24 Ultra. The new phone just come out with X75 modem. And this is a new node that's out there at the airport. I sent you also a screenshot where I drew a circle showing a blue where the new coverage is, where that node, there's actually 2 nodes there actually, and then a little yellow dot where where the overpass was there, where the side of the airport, and you can see the other where the dark colors is existing. So actually, Verizon is expanding the millimeter wave N261 all the way around the airport. So, and also I got notified too. Greg said that there's permits issued in my neighborhood. They're putting millimeter wave nodes in my neighborhood. So 3 houses down from me, I'm getting a millimeter wave N261 node. So we may be ditching Cox Fiber and going back to Verizon Home Internet, have my landlord buy one of them and install it out there, and we may have millimeter wave here for the whole house. Right now, I'm using the Lambo because the router they give you is a piece of junk. It won't even reach the 3rd floor. It's garbage. So I got my Lambo, the AXE 11,000 Zeus router downstairs hooked into the fiber, and then I have 2. Let's see, was it AXE 5000 smaller wireless routers in AI mode, AI mesh. So I got one on the 3rd floor, one on the 2nd floor, and now we have 1 gig speeds through the whole house now. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it just, with that 5 gigabytes down speed, it just kind of brings back to the point,
And look
like,
at that upload.
yeah, you're
Holy
right. But
crap.
yeah, with standalone, eventually you're going to have a 10 gig connection, via fiber, via, FWA through your house and
Hmm.
while you're away and mobile. So, right. So,
But check this
yeah, that's
out. But
awesome.
check this out, right? They got band 13, 10 megahertz as the anchor LTE, right?
Hmm.
They got 8 carriers of N261.
No, it's band 2, I think.
So
Is band
there's some
210 is
band
the
2 in there
anchor.
too.
That's the anchor band.
I don't know. It says band 13, 10 megahertz.
That's
Okay, so
carry-ag.
so
That's
there's another
LTE
one.
carry. Yeah, it was there. The other
Yeah,
half
here's
of
10
that.
megahertz of band 2. Okay, so you got 10 megahertz of band 2, 10 megahertz of band 13,
Yeah, see at the
and they got
top,
8.
band 2.
Yeah,
That's your anchor band up there. Yeah.
yeah. So that is a crap ton of spectrum, and there's more upside because that can be
Hmm.
like there's going to be a new configuration with SA, and they're talking about obviously N77 getting involved, and there's some potential with CBRS and stuff like that. So there's a lot,
Hmm.
as B would say, a lot of meat on the bone. There's
Yep.
still
So that's
upside.
10 carrier aggregation, 800 of N261 and 2 LTE. Hmm. Yeah, so I
Yep.
broke my record today. And then I went down to the strip today and I got the same results, but it didn't hit 5 gigs, but it was like 4.7. But you got to
Oh,
remember
that's terrible, bro. I
the
can't believe they did that to you. 4.7 gigs on the
yeah,
phone.
the
Damn.
load on the strip right now is crazy. The strip was nuts because my brother's staying at the Bellagio. So after we ate, I took him down there to. We went down to Henderson, ate some Thai food, and then I took him back to his hotel at Bellagio. So, but yeah, at the Bellagio, going up to the strip, I was either connected to a small cell getting LTE crap speeds, or and then when I did get a millimeter wave node, it was like 4.7 gigs down and like 600 up. And that's with the old node. So the improvement is definitely the X75 modem. It's not anything they did with these units. So the X75 performance on millimeter wave is pretty good. And I let Carlos know too. So Carlos is going to be doing some testing. So look out for him to go live or make some videos. I told him where this is, and he's going to go check it out as well over at the airport. But yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So I've been using the S24 exclusively on T-Mobile, as Ricky would say, skunky. I've used it for a week. This week I'm going to be switching to AT&T on the S24, and then hopefully next week I'll be switching over to Verizon.
So how was your
And
skunky experience on it? Is it better or worse?
compared to like what
Or
it
the
was on
same?
another phone.
Yeah.
Okay, so so here's the baseline. Most of last year I used T-Mobile on the iPhone, the 14 Pro Max, and that's probably the best way to go with using T-Mobile because the battery life is much better on an iPhone than an Android. I used T-Mobile on my Pixel 7 Pro and it destroyed my battery life. I mean, I'm talking
Yep.
like overnight it would lose like 27%.
Yeah.
Like it
T-Mobile
was
doesn't
it was
play
nuts.
play well with 5G.
And the uplink is just terrible if you're like indoors.
Hmm.
Like I'm at what 0.86 miles from the tower site, 0.9 maybe, and N41 if it's not anchored to like N25 or something, it's under 2 megabits.
Yep.
Sometimes it's under 1 megabit. So I had to lock in SA so that way I could get the extra carrier aggregation from the N71 and the N25 just so I can get 6 megabits uplink. So
Yeah.
that
On my work.
that is an absolute nightmare. A Pixel
Yeah.
7 Pro on with a T-Mobile SIM in it, your phone won't make it to lunch on
Me neither.
a charge. It is
Meltdown.
horrible. Now on the S24, the battery life is really good. It's more like the iPhone with
Oh
respect
yeah.
to battery life. So
Yeah.
I don't have an Ultra, Rick. I have a regular S24, but the battery life,
Yeah. Yeah.
clearly there's some energy savings built into this
Yeah.
this new modem, this chipset, the SoC, everything's really power efficient. But like I said, the uplink, it's not that much better. It's almost like there's some kind of configuration that they have, at least in my market, that is not playing nicely, and it's not really helping much. I do pick up N41 in my lower level now, which was really hard to do with the iPhone or the Pixel. So there definitely is an RF improvement in that respect. What up,
Anthony
Moose?
says he has a positive experience with the 24 Ultra. Max Tech Studios says his battery life has been amazing. Yeah, I see a slight better on the battery. I had like 9 hours screen time the other day, and I got 16 hours on it. That's not too bad.
That's legit. What up, Moose?
Oh man,
Hi, Moose.
So many things. All I can tell you. But so wait, did you guys talk about the AVP yet?
Oh boy.
Oh my.
You guys haven't talked about the AVP?
No, go ahead, Moose.
Alrighty. I want to preface by saying I already said my comments about 9, 10 months ago. Sneed even caught it when I was catching up with him yesterday. And my comments still stand today. It was confirmed by one of the managers that I spoke to at the Apple Store that the Vision Pro will require a minimum of 100 Mbps if you are streaming the immersion videos that they were demoing on Wi-Fi.
That's gonna be one hell of a
For
cellular
upload?
requirement to give 100
No
megabits
upload.
down like all the time.
It's all download right now. For now.
Wow.
Oh, 100
For now.
download. Yeah, that's okay. As long as
100
it ain't
download.
upload. I was going to say, there's going to be lots of problems because there's, holy
Yes.
crap. There's
You'd have
many
So
to do
speed
it
tests I do
outside
on Verizon
25
and
feet
N2
from the tower site.
so
and
Casey
N77 where you only got 10 up.
Casey Neistat did a video not even like 24 hours ago. He uploaded it where he was walking all over New York City with it, and he did exactly what I was proposing. You get a battery pack, you get a backpack connected to the damn battery, 2.5 BS, right? That's ridiculous. But he got a massive battery pack, USB-C, plugged it in, and he wore the thing for his entire 8-hour session outdoors. And obviously it's not meant for outdoors, but he was able to make it work. In his video, it was actually pretty detailed how he, was able to make it happen. Joanna from Wall Street Journal also went outdoors, but in a small ski resort, right? And she tested it out. So it is possible to do some of the things. However, in order for you to actually see what the person is seeing, you're going to have to screen share, right? Most people are doing it on Zoom. Some people are doing it on FaceTime. Um, it's a very interesting situation because in both examples, on the screen sharing, they only did it on Wi-Fi. I'm hoping to get one of these soon, and we'll be able to test it live.
Well, I'm not going to get one and put it on my face and look like I'm from Mars, like a zombie wandering around the street. No,
Yeah,
I'll
me.
pass.
Yeah, me either. I can't do that anyways. I got eye conditions. So
Yeah, it was very interesting, guys, because from an RF perspective, if there was a Qualcomm RF modem on this thing would need a much bigger battery because 2.5 hours is so little as it is.
Yep, true.
So, and by the way, I did check the tech specs. This thing only has a Wi-Fi 6, not even 6E, Wi-Fi 6
What?
chip.
Yeah, they
Oh,
So,
went
God.
cheap. They're keeping the
yeah.
cost down.
Does
Yeah.
it have AT160 in it, or is it AT18 or 80?
No idea. But I think that this thing is a standard Wi-Fi 6 chip from the iPhone 14, because remember, it has an M2 chip. So actually, it could be a Wi-Fi chip from an MBP, MacBook Pro. So
Hmm.
it's not anything special to
Which is
sneeze at.
manufactured by whom?
I have probably Broadcom because that's what they use
Broadcom.
most of their
Yeah.
Wi-Fi from. But my point is,
Mm-hmm.
right, of all is this is totally a beta, in my opinion. It's a beta product. And what I mean by that, obviously it's going to get better over time, right, from software updates. But the software is not, sorry, the hardware is not like iPhone 15 Pro Max, right? It doesn't have everything there yet. I think the reason, I mean, Tim Cook had an interview with Good Morning America. He was like, the reason why we're doing it this way is because we priced it at $3,500 because of all the patents of all the R&D and stuff.
Oh,
Over
Carlos.
time, there's a chance that it could go down. But
Yeah, but
I'm
Moose,
with
we're
man,
talking
Carlos.
about the next generation's going to be what, $500, $600, $700 cheaper, maybe.
maybe 3,000, yeah, maybe
It's
3,000,
still going to come in around $3,000.
yeah.
It'll be 5 generations before that sucker is under $2,000.
Well, there might be an Apple Vision, the standard headset, right, that is implemented.
Well, hold on a second, Moose. You just said this thing has Wi-Fi 6. What are you going to put Wi-Fi 2.4? What are you going to do?
No.
It would be
Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi
6.
7.
It's going to be Wi-Fi 7 next.
It
Yeah,
needs to
right.
have Wi-Fi 7, yes,
And you
so
are
you get them
expecting the cost
320
to go
megahertz bands.
down?
Yes, it has to go down
Ugh.
because the reason why it's $3,500 today is because of all the R&D and all the stuff, right? But as
Yeah, it's beta.
it's more mass produced, right? Because they're only going to produce a certain amount this year. If they are going to do a version 2 next year, which by the way, it's so interesting that it's in the spring or first quarter that they're launching this thing. Because think about it from a supply chain perspective, right? The S series of phones launched always in February, and now they're launching in January, right? They're trying to get ahead of this September timeframe, right? Because September is always iPhone month, right? So even the Pixel, I've heard internal rumors from Google Land, my buddy over there, they're thinking about the Pixel launching earlier
Okay,
than
so if they
October.
launch the Pixel earlier, then when the hell are they going to launch the A series? Because the A series historically has been the spring launch.
Yep.
Then the Pro and the regular version of of the Google phone usually launches like early Q4, end of Q3.
They probably are going to do it in the first half, like maybe March, April for the A series. And they're probably going to launch the Pixel in August. That's what I was rumored to be told.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm all in on the Galaxies this year. I don't know about this whole like Apple Vision Pro thing. You know, I'm not going to get on the hype train. I'm not going to be the conductor of that. So
And by the way, I was also very skeptical, and I am still skeptical in the success of it. However, Cha Sneed, you're going to have to go and do a demo for free. Because there's one thing that I have learned over the past, 48 hours, 72 hours. All the reviewers have their own point of view of this particular device because it is like going back in time in 2007, where it's the original iPhone all over again, or it's the original iPad all over again, right? Once you experience it, you can start seeing that this thing is going to have a lot of legs because it is going to be heavily influenced by Apple TV Plus, the season pass of MLS, and other season passes that they might potentially get in the future. Netflix is going to have to get on board because there's going to be a massive demand from their customer base that wants it, right? Um, their Disney Plus, Paramount are currently live on the service today. Every single streaming service is going to have it. But then, like Tim Cook said in the interview on Friday, you're going to be able to see and preview cars. Like before you shop for a car, CarMax or Nissan or Mercedes is going to have a mixed reality app on the App Store, so you can jump in, see how it is before you buy it, and then if you really want to, you can actually test drive it, right? Um,
No
there's
thanks.
even there's even conversations of using the mixed reality headset to do surgeries and to understand what's going on, like the true vision of that future that we envisioned way long ago, right? And once the 5G chip comes to the second version of this device, I really do feel like we're going to be seeing the true potential of 5G because this thing does require a significant amount of bandwidth.
Yeah. We need
yo, shout out
5G
to
Advanced,
Kimon.
and too bad
Let me get
5G
to this.
Advanced is 2 years away.
Let me get to the super chat real quick, Rick. Shout out to Kimon. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Hey, Sneed, what's up, SMT Nation? Hey, thanks, man. Good to have you. Glad you could stop by tonight. We're talking Apple Vision Pro, apparently. Picking up some Steam folks. And you know what? Dude, I'm telling you, you're not the first person to recommend that I go to the Apple Store and do the 30-minute trial. People have been telling me to go ahead and do it and just like live stream it or record it and kind of share my experiences on it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Ideally, what you could do, because you would need somebody to actually record the iPad mini that they have connected to it, because you actually get to see what you are seeing. And the reason why that's happening is
So it's like a
because,
live feed of the screen grab or whatever.
correct. It's because if necessary, the Apple employee, right, can press the buttons for you if you don't know where to look. You get what I'm saying? Like, for
Mm-hmm.
example, my parents and my aunt just tested it, like literally 30 minutes ago. And before, they were extremely like nervous because, they're getting older in age, 65 plus, right? And my aunt's almost 80, so she even realized that it is going to take like a massive learning curve for her. But my dad and my mom that use the iPhone significantly more than my aunt, they were totally fine doing the gestures and all that stuff with the hands.
Because it has the OS familiarity with it.
Yes, exactly. The OS familiarity. The biggest thing for them was the fact that they could see, like, for example, there's a part in the demo that you get to see from a perspective of a fan in the stands of a uh, Miami FC, right? Miami FC versus Atlanta United, and you actually get to see from the goalkeeper's perspective, right? And by the way, that's not new in any sense. I was able to do that with an S4 back in the day in 2016. I was able to do it with a Note 4. Like that's not anything new. What is new is the fact that I'm able to take my MacBook Pro and put it into that mixed reality environment and expand it to make it a 32-inch screen versus a 15-inch screen from a MacBook Pro. I think that is the power user um, example of like why you should buy it, other than for entertainment.
I think people are going to buy it for pH.
Yeah.
I'm not really concerned about why people purchase it. It's just for me, it's just good to see use cases being put out there for 5G and for all this increased connectivity that's being built out. That's a pleasure for me to see. Um, 5G is capable of supporting equipment like that right now, but I think Ricky or someone said 5G Advanced is also going to be here soon. So I'm happy to see increased use cases being put out there. Anytime Apple puts their name behind something, it's going to do well. People just have to experience the device for themselves and all that kind of thing. But I know Meta, Facebook, they have their own virtual reality product that they're implementing everything as well. So these things are good to see. Good to see.
One of the funny things though, the guy off record, right, because he was outside the store, was like, yeah, all these T-Mobile home internets, they're not going to be able to stream the content because there's just no way you're going to be able to
Of course.
consistently get 100 Mbps from the unit. That's a lot of data, man. And that's another reason why the onboard storage is 256, 512, and 1 TB. And I asked the guy, I'm like, wait. I thought this thing didn't need that much onboard storage because everything is going to be pulled from the cloud, right? Or pulled from a server, right? And the guy was like, oh, no. Like, for the first couple of months, you're going to be downloading all these 3D movies if you want to have an immersion situation. But if you want to stream them, you need 100 Mbps or more. I'm like, damn.
Hey Moose.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of the guy who apparently has had the Apple Vision Pro on all weekend. He basically used it for like 3 days straight. They got a picture of him right here.
Crazy.
Oh,
This dude had it on his head the whole freaking weekend, bro. Look at his neck, bro. That dude's looking like an NFL linebacker right now, dog, from that Apple Vision
Oh
Pro.
no.
it does weigh a lot, guys. No joke. But if you don't care how your hair looks from the top, the extra band that comes into it is much better for like your neck strain. No joke, guys. It does weigh a lot. It's literally the same weight as a 12.9-inch iPad Pro on your face.
Damn. I'll pass.
And I will say this, my cheeks, because I like clapping them cheeks, right? But no, of course, my
Oh
my
shit.
cheeks. Oh no, I'm doing a Sneed with the clapping. But no, no,
Damn.
no. My cheeks, right? Because I couldn't smile fully because it literally like pushed my eyeballs upward. And I'm like, oh god, this is not good. Because you know how there's like two parts to reduce the light coming into your eyes from the
Mhm.
bottom or from the sides, right? Um, and also there's like 21 different um, like cushions. That's the best way to describe it. There's an actual term that they use, right? Light seal, I think it's called. Yeah, light seal. 21 different light seals. It's stupid, right? That's ridiculous that there's that many differentiations in somebody's face, but there is.
Damn, son. The next generation is gonna have to address a lot of the comfort issues. You know, fit, comfort, effective.
Reduced
Like
weight.
it's gonna be they're gonna have to address all that and still make it more capable than the last edition, right?
Yep. And keep in mind that the cameras need to be improved as well, because even Nilay Patel from The Verge, he literally said, this is not a VR situation completely, right? Because you're literally seeing the world from a camera's perspective through a lens, right? Through the screen. So and by the way, you only get to see 50% of the colors that you see from your own eyeballs, unless you're obviously colorblind. But the issue that he was explaining is that, like, until these cameras get better, this is the best the engineers could do to solve this problem, and this is the best we got. And they're like,
Moose,
yeah, go
real
ahead.
talk, bro. Since when has Apple engineering been innovative? Since when?
I think
They've
I
always
think
done everything after the fact that everybody's already done it. They wait so that they could scale it to cost. It never is about innovation and moving the industry forward. It's about cost analysis, right? Like, when did they add a
yeah.
second camera to a phone? When they knew they could keep the cost down. When did they add an improved selfie camera? When the cost was down. When did they move to OLEDs? When the cost was down. They don't innovate shit. It's all about
Yeah.
cost, Moose. They won't
Nope.
innovate anything until they can get the cost down, and that
Nope.
is the same for this headset too.
Yep. If they ain't
Because
got a
they
big bottom
literally
line, they're
know
not going
that
to do it.
that's the sweet spot, bro. Whatever this $3,500 price point is, that has like 1% of the world buying it. If it was more, it'd be a 0.5%, you know?
Oh yeah. I think the true innovation of this thing to talk about it like that is the experience within the ecosystem. I think is the true innovation, because even though Samsung has tried to do it, with their plug into a screen monitor, right? I know there's a word for it. I think it's called oh dang, I forgot what it was called. But like the Windows Phone tried to do it, Samsung tried to do it. Those were kind of,
Talking about Dex?
yeah, Dex. That's right, right. Where it's
Yeah,
like your
I use
phone
Dex
becomes
every
your,
day with
yeah,
my phone. Yeah, it's
yeah.
great.
The
It's awesome.
phone becomes the computer. This
Right.
is like an extension of. I feel like this could become an extension of the computer, and then eventually it completely replaces the computer. Your laptop, I mean,
Yeah.
Oh
your
yeah,
laptop.
absolutely,
I think this thing's
absolutely.
going to be a fad. It's going to be phased out and forgotten in 1 year. Next year we'll be
Uh,
saying, "Hey, remember when them goofy goggles were on?" Yeah, we remember that.
I don't know. I got a different view. I think this will be. I think Moose is right. This eventually will replace the iPad computer, because if you think about it, we're going from a 2D environment, which is your laptop and your tablet, to a 3D environment, which is these AR VR goggles, right? So, and
It's
and
not
the other
really
thing,
3D. It's
well,
fake 3D.
it's 3D-ish, right? So, um, I want to make a point to where, as far as the comfortability and size of the device, these will actually, starting next year, is going to be the process. They already announced it, making the 2 nanometer chips, right? So what does that mean, right? That means your processors are going to be smaller, more efficient, more power efficient, as well as the cameras as well, right? So. Um, it's going to be a 2 nanometer process starting next year. So it's going to work extremely well for heat dissipation as well, right? So the processors in your phones, the cameras, the modular cameras, that's all going to get smaller, right? So if you and eventually, I think what's going to happen, especially with this VR headsets from Apple, I think eventually it's going to maybe it could turn into a glasses, just a regular like sunglasses type a deal, so it's more comfortable. I think I do see that eventually. They kind of already have some of that stuff with AR glasses right now. I don't see people wearing a big headset for much longer. I think it's going to be just hopefully just glasses, right? So. And then eventually after that, we're going to have something really freaky. You can put contacts in your eyes to actually get the same effect. So,
Oh God.
Yeah,
Count
that's
yeah.
me
the
out.
next level.
Right.
That is the next level, guys.
It
No
is, yeah.
joke, man.
Right.
Actually, it's going to be a Neuralink chip from Elon Musk put in your brain, and it's going to like put the computer screen right on your eyeballs inside your
Yep,
head.
yep,
Yep.
that's gonna be even worse. But the cool part, again, next year 2 nanometer chips, so I think that's gonna be
Yep.
it's
And then
gonna be
they're going
pretty
to take
sweet.
over your body and make you do things.
And
You'll
can
be
you
an
believe
AI
it?
robot.
That AVP has fans because it gets that hot with a
Mm-hmm.
FaceTime call plus sharing your screen. So to me, that's exactly what Zero Cool is saying, because
Right.
the MacBook Air, right, the tiniest MacBook, no longer has a fan. It literally is the first Apple product, anyways, that doesn't have a fan from a laptop series, right? So eventually, y- the headset would go down in thickness because it doesn't need the fan.
Yeah. Fans, cameras, processor. Yeah, it's all gonna get a
Right.
lot smaller, more comfortable, and
Right.
a lot more stylish. I can imagine probably even some of the sunglass manufacturers can probably get into something like this as well. Can you imagine? Think for a moment if you can imagine like Gucci glasses
Yep.
or Prada glasses getting involved with Apple doing this. I mean,
Yep.
holy crap! Like that would be that would be that would be a game changer for sure.
Yeah, I'd
Or
rather play
Hermes.
hot stuff at the casino than buy this thing.
Yeah,
Like
same
Carlos
here.
said.
Same here.
So let me ask you guys another thing, pivoting really quickly. Did you guys talk about Spectrum, Charter Spectrum's earnings from Friday?
Yeah, we probably should.
That was a big one that we got to address.
Wasn't good,
But
man.
who cares about cable though?
So I do, because I have a very strong prediction, and this might be ruffling some feathers, but Spectrum might be purchased very soon.
Oh,
Fuck's sake.
Yes.
Man,
Which which
poor Caleb.
company do you think is ripe to purchase them? And
That.
it's not the Death Star, not the Death Star.
Oh no.
Probably T-Mobile.
Yep.
Yep, T-Mobile.
Where's Dennis at? Where's he at? Where's Dennis? I'm just kidding.
Shut up.
Where's the-
Shut up.
so anyways,
I'm
the
gonna send a
earnings.
drone up there to your house.
Can we talk about the earnings, Chacha?
Yeah, so they lost. Yeah. Charter lost 257,000 video subs. They lost, I think, 61,000 home broadband customers.
Yikes.
They're still waiting on certification for their, what is it called? The DAA equipment? Whatever the stuff is for their,
It's the DAA. Yes.
yes, the next generation of their networking in order to complete their
Mhm.
upgrades and do this whole DOCSIS upgrade thing. They're still waiting for certification, and that's getting delayed on completion until like 2026.
Yikes.
Yeah. So yeah. This guy's a
That's terrible
tool.
news.
This guy's a
That's bad
tool,
news.
bro.
Now hold
I
on, hold on.
mean,
I want to paint a picture.
is
for you.
this dude's real name Peter Pan, bro? Can we talk about it?
Can't you see can't you see that guy and Mike Siebert like chumming it together in the back room? I mean, they kind of look alike, right? Or,
Like, this dude can't even grow a beard, no doubt. Not,
he's a
bro. He
good
doesn't have a
Siebert.
sideburn to even talk about, bro.
Oh damn.
So basically, Spectrum's condition is worsening, right? That's the second quarter that not only they've lost more
Comcast
video
ain't shit
subs.
either, Moose.
No, of course. I know that. So we got to address this, right? Cable is losing a significant amount of customers because they're getting attacked from all sides. They're literally getting blitzkrieged. A pincer maneuver, insanity. So on the one hand, you have fixed wireless, right? Accessibility is pretty much everywhere, and it's going to
Uh-huh.
continue growing. And then,
Right.
with more 10 gig backhaul upgrades, more and more people are able to sign up in a neighborhood, right? Okay.
Right.
Then we also have more fiber coming online, right? From multiple different players. So you now have in a lot of neighborhoods multiple options of connectivity, not just the monopolization of cable like there used to be back in the day, right? So now that people are finally getting savvy and it's like, hey, I'm not going to be paying this, ridiculous $79.99 or $140 now for cable 1 gig. Oh, and by the way, I do have an inside source from my guy at Spectrum. they're going to be raising prices again sometime
They
no
just
later than
raised
the second,
pricing in December.
no later than
Good
the second
grief.
quarter of this year. And the reason why is because in the earnings call, they literally said we are going to be increasing our ARPUs for our broadband customers from
So let me
How
get
do we
this.
do
broadband.
that?
So let
Is
me
a
get
price
this right.
increase.
So you can't. You're losing customers, therefore you got to charge who's staying with you more.
Yes.
Okay,
Or
gotcha.
That's the
you're going to
mentality.
upsell them, or you're going to upsell them to the next speed tier.
Fine, upsell them, but whatever.
It's not good, dude. It's not good.
Whatever.
So,
Oh,
anyways, B, what do you
goodness.
think about this one, man?
I mean,
Crazy.
we've known that Charter, you know, has been in trouble. They've been in the crosshairs for a really long time. And there's really no
Hmm.
easy answers to address their issues other than to speed up the DOCSIS and deploy and all other jazz. It's par for the course. I don't really have a whole lot to say. I mean, we already knew this was going to happen, guys.
Yo, B, they were buying back stocks at like $560 a share.
Which is ridiculous. I mean, it's just such a waste of money. I mean, I understand you have to appease your shareholder. I get it. You have to make sure that people are happy to continue purchasing shares and all that other kind of jazz. But yo, capex, you're behind on your network bill. You're trying to compete with fixed wireless, which is the closest thing you're going to get to a fiber type of solution in many places, but still better than what you're going to get with coax. I mean, I don't understand what they're doing over there. I
Yo,
mean,
B,
they're popping
September.
bottles.
B,
The ship's
September
sinking and they're getting on the
2021.
lifeboats.
They were trading for $811.
Where are they at now, Sneed?
They are at $318.
And that is ridiculous. That's too high. I mean, I thought you were going to say like $80, and even $80 would be too high. But no, $300 for really?
They're at,
That's ridiculous.
well, so if I look at their PE ratio, they're trading at a price to earnings of 10 multiple.
What? So the market doesn't even think that that's really all that high, man. Please.
A 10 multiple. I mean, they still have free cash flows, but I mean, where's the upside? Like, where are they going? Fixed wireless access, the inferior product, is killing you.
Yeah. And then it's a perception thing and all that. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of levers they have to pull other than to really reinvest into their network. And then,
I could have sworn they used to have a dividend or a yield. I think they got rid of it.
So this is the reason why they're not offering any more coaxial cable video signups, where they're just going to the Zemo box, right, which they announced. So this is just speaks to that, right? So there's as far as the ARPU goes, now they are selling that service less, right, than what the standard set-top box is for coax for video. But again, what's how do you get to the highest ARPU, right? I don't know if what they're doing is the correct answer, but it's hard to raise the capex when you're bleeding the video subscribers to get DAA off the ground.
All right, we got to answer this question for the 5,000th time. Green, thank you for the super chat, my friend. How do you respond to someone who says there's no need for millimeter wave, that people don't need gigabit speeds on their phone? The age-old question. Millimeter wave, just capacity in general, has nothing to do with what speed a person gets on their phone. It has to do with being able to support 10,000 phones all at the same time, at the same place, on the same sector. I don't think people can get it through their heads if they're still asking this question. When you go to a large venue where there's thousands of folks, the only way to support that is with a completely modernized cell site arrangement, whether it's DAS or millimeter wave nodes or CRAN or combination of macros, whatever. You simply want to support all your customers and all the data that they demand from. So you cannot do that with anything other than millimeter wave.
Mm-hmm.
The
just like
bandwidth
this.
does not exist except in millimeter wave. Why, if people are still asking this question, you have to ask them, what do you know about networking? Like, you have to be the most literal casual to ask this question at this point. I mean, I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to tell them. I mean, who says no to speed? Who says no to capacity? Yeah, I'll take the car that only goes 15 miles per hour. Sign me up for that.
So
It's just like this. You buy a camper that weighs 5,000 pounds. Are you going to buy a GMC Envoy and hook it to it and tow it? No. You're going to get a pickup truck that has a V8 in it, that has the suspension and everything that's able to pull that 5,000 pounds, rated for 7,500 pounds. You're only going to pull 5. You're not going to buy something to pull a 5,000 camper that maxes out at 5,000 pounds. You got to have that extra thing so that you're safe. And the same thing with wireless. You got to have more than what you need so that you can take care of all your customers.
Those same people will be standing there just looking at their phone while the network is congested and they can't use it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to say, "Oh, I wish I had millimeter wave."
I'm seeing N77 congested in places here in Vegas already.
Of course, it's
N77
only
is
100. It's
congested.
only 160 megahertz. There's a limit.
There's people using the hell out of it. I mean, it's dropping down where you got 300 down and 20 up.
Zero Cool, what is the theoretical max based on upgraded baseband units? You know, everything is up to standard. 160 megahertz, 180 megahertz of mid-band, low-band combo. What's the max capacity of users on that site?
It's not necessarily a, I don't want to say this. It's not necessarily the amount of users. It's how much bandwidth
5 megabits per second
that
each person.
that they take. So don't look at it like as necessarily the amount of users. Look at it as the amount of bandwidth taken from a particular sector at a particular time. And to the people that keep on asking, what is millimeter wave capacity? What is capacity? This or that? I want you to take your phone. I want you to look at it very, 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 very hard. To stare at it, and I want you to hit yourself in the face with it. Okay. So let me repeat myself. We have had, since the mid-band rollouts of C-band and T-Mobile's 2.5, which again, the rest of their 2.5 is coming online in March. They had a 90-day window, right? So we have 1 gigabyte speeds, okay, for just on mid-band alone. All right, that's average. Okay, so eventually, again, in the near future, when standalone becomes true and readily available, and all the cores are up and everything, eventually, right, you will have a 10 gigabyte throughput. So you have to ask yourself, as an individual, what will this do for me? How can I maximize the efficient use of bandwidth that I have available to me? What am I going to use this shit for? Okay, and if your answer, I swear to God, is still running speed tests, God
Zero
help
Cool,
you.
you know what
God
it
help
is.
you.
It's the carriers want people connecting to the network for more use cases, so that way they can sell them.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
So the more folks are on the network, the more use cases that are on, each device and all these different things. It's simple to see. We have a 20 to 30% bandwidth increase every year.
And here's the thing:
you can add all the
not
sites.
a use case. Just letting people know.
You could add all the sites, right? 10 gig fiber and all that, but literally, it's going to come down to just bandwidth on these sites.
Exactly.
We're exceeding the bandwidth with what's available out there. That's the thing.
So this is not going to be a coverage issue in the near future. It's going to be capacity. So this is again is why I'm really excited about FWA's prospects, right, in fiber, because you're going to have that 10 gig circuit. You can say, oh, I don't have to worry about what am I tethered to, or I don't. The question is not going to be what connection am I using.
10 gig circuits are good enough for the next 2 or 3 auctions.
It's how I can use what I'm using.
Yeah.
What auctions? As long as FCC's in power, there's not going to be any more auctions.
Come on, you're saying that we're not going to see some action? You're saying we're not going to see any action in the lower 3 gigahertz and the 12 gigahertz?
No.
Oh, come on, Ricky.
Maybe in 5 years.
No,
6 years, 7 years, 10 years. I'm telling you, the FCC is a failure. There's no auction set.
They will be. They're in the process of doing it, actually.
I'll believe it when I see it.
There's an article on that I can show you, Rick. But there's going to be auctions in the 3 gigahertz and the low, and then some other 6 and 7 gigahertz mid band, as well as you know, the
Did you say 60 or 6?
no, the 6 and also the 13 and 10.
6 gigahertz? There's no auctions going to be allowed for 6.
There
It's like
could
closer
be.
to 7
That's
gigahertz, isn't it?
unlicensed.
It's
6
between 6
gigahertz
and
is unlicensed.
it's between 6 and 7, depending on what the FCC
Right.
wants to do with it.
Well,
right?
6 and
So,
7 is Wi-Fi 7, Wi-Fi 6.
well,
Yeah, but he's right. There's bandwidth there. I remember reading the releases on that. They're
Yeah,
looking
there's
into those.
bandwidth there, but that's unlicensed.
well, my
There's not going to be no auction for it.
my point is that you're going to be able to use that with a licensed spectrum, right? Your 6 and 7, and then
Yeah,
eventually,
well, AT&T and Verizon, all them can use 6 gigahertz right now if they want to, but they're not going to get the return on investment's going to suck. It's not worth it. They'd be better off to use their millimeter wave spectrum. 6 gigahertz is a waste of time because
The 12 gigahertz won't be a waste of time.
no, that's needed.
that's
And you
needed.
use that with
The lower
use that
3
with
is not going to
GigaMIMO
be a
that's
waste
coming
of
out.
time. The lower 3
Yeah.
is going to be probably the most important thing after C-band.
That's
No,
only
I
going to be 200 megahertz of bandwidth
so
divided by 4
How's
carriers.
how's that bad? What 4 carriers? Dish ain't doing shit. They don't have any money.
So with the 6 gigahertz, you're going to have 1200 megahertz of spectrum that you can use, right? So
That's
that's
unlicensed.
going to be
Yeah.
a huge
But that's
advantage
going to be the
over.
same thing as band 48. It's going to be low powered, couple hundred
Which
feet
frequency?
Wi-Fi
Which frequency, Ricky?
with 6 gigahertz. 7
It's going to
gigahertz.
be it's going to be a lot better than we have now for 2.4.
Yeah,
and
but
5,
the 3 gigahertz is going to be
But
full
that's not
power.
going to
The
be for
DoD is
macro.
going to give it up.
Right. Yeah, 6 gigahertz. Forget about it. That's like band 48. It's low powered, short range crap. It's going to be good for indoor stuff, but it's not going to be for macro stuff. And there's no auction needed. It's free to use. Carriers
Yeah.
can deploy it right now.
We'll see what the FCC does, but for me at least personally, I'm looking forward to the like a 13 gigahertz auction. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I mean the auctions they'll happen. It's just going to take them a little bit. It'll happen.
Ricky's just a
60
Debbie Downer, man. He's
60
harder on the FCC
gigahertz
than I am.
for Wi-Fi is not going to be very good. The range is horrible and stuff. It's not, the technology is not there for it. Now, if you got GigaMIMO technology that hits Wi-Fi 8, yeah, you could probably talk about 60
Bro,
gigahertz
here you
later,
go with
but
the
right now it's
GigaMIMO.
not even right.
Come on, Ricky. Come
Well,
on, man.
yeah, I mean the reason why I'm looking at the 6 gigahertz is because here's what you can do with it. With the Wi-Fi 8, you can actually combine your 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi's with your millimeter wave. So, for example, like in using like Starbucks coffee shops, right?
Yeah, that's Wi-Fi, but we're talking about 5G Advanced here.
Yeah, but the thing
You
is,
can't
Ricky,
use 5G Advanced for 6 gigahertz.
yes,
That's Wi-Fi stuff.
No, that's not true. You can. That's in the standard. So basically, with Wi-Fi 8,
It is in the standard, but it's not going to be return on investment. It's
it will.
it's going to be
I believe it
wasted
will.
capex.
It will for
No,
businesses
it's going to be
like Starbucks.
wasted.
It will. No, it will.
I'm talking for the
So, Zirkle, you're
carriers,
talking about a private
AT&T,
network
Verizon.
solution.
Yeah, I'm talking
Yeah.
about private networks, right? I think it will. Like they can use like a perfect, millimeter
And
wave.
Ricky's talking about macro bands. He's talking about commercial networking at a scale,
Well, he's talking about auctions and how the FCC's failing us, and then you said 6 gigahertz, and then that's where the spinoff is, where that's Wi-Fi band, and it is unlicensed for 5G, but there's nobody making equipment for it even right now. So,
Bro, we still don't have equipment for the 47 gigahertz. Ain't nobody doing nothing.
Yes,
with that frequency.
exactly. All that bandwidth on. But see, if they can make some GigaMIMO stuff to work on all those new frequencies.
Ricky,
and stuff,
I swear with the
oh
GigaMIMO.
my God, it's going to be a game changer.
Let's put it this way. I think here's the thing. The Wi-Fi stuff, actually, Ricky, is actually moving faster than the GigaMIMO.
It is.
So
I completely agree.
That's
Wi-Fi 7 standard is way faster.
That's what I'm saying.
We're talking about 16,000 QAM.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So
5G Advanced ain't like that yet. I mean, they're lucky to get 4,000 QAM.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? You're able to advance the Wi-Fi standard and combine that eventually with your millimeter wave in like a Wi-Fi 8, scenario for like businesses and like in like outdoor settings, right? That's why I think it's important.
Bro, listen, we gotta take this comment from MS. He said, "I think the amount of spectrum available for auction is contingent on who gets the White House." Hear me out on this, MS. We need someone to lead a technology coalition on behalf of the United States government, someone preferably under the age of 50, possibly under the age of 45, just someone who is versed in
Why would you
technology.
say that, there, mister? I got a couple more years left.
Okay, fine. But you can't pull up. You cannot pull up with zero background in technology or understanding from any type of industry that relies on these assets.
Yeah, but
It needs
we never had
Just
a
because I
representation from
fell
people
down the
within
stairs don't
industry.
mean I can't do anything.
Dude, we never had.
You
we
look
never
here,
had a president
buddy.
that young though.
No, dude, we cannot do this anymore. You got countries that are literally laughing at the U.S. talking about this is the world leader.
That's right.
Yo, shout out to Green with another super chat. Ben 13 is goated. Can't wait for it to move to the NR side. You'll be
Yeah.
waiting about 15 years, dog.
10 years ago, our country and FCC and all that should have
Thanks,
made
Green.
steps available to get more
Yes.
frequencies and so that we can use the technology. We're so behind right now on all this stuff. It's crazy.
All I remember, Ricky, is
So you know what the solution is?
All I remember is the FAA talk about planes falling from the sky.
I
dog.
know.
All I remember.
Them idiots too. So right now, this is what we're faced with. We're faced with 5G Advanced coming up, and the antenna manufacturers and radios. What they have to do now is they have to come out with GigaMIMO with 16,000 QAM and use the existing bandwidth, increase the hardware to make it do double the speeds and half the electricity. That's what 5G Advanced is going to do, because we're going that direction because of the FCC failure to get us more license. So we don't have more frequencies. We don't have no bandwidth. We have to use what's already out there, which is the 3 gigahertz and the millimeter wave. That's what we got to work with. So that's why they're going to make these new antenna panels and radios, so you could double the speeds, double uploads, and cut your electric bill in half. That way you can upgrade all this stuff, because everybody's complaining about their power bill. You know, like AT&T. What was their power bill? Like $1.6 million a year or something like
Billions.
that. But or billions. So that's why this GigaMIMO stuff is going to come out, and you're going to see all the carriers are going to rip and replace all the stuff they got. All this 64 by 64 Ericsson.
But if you look at it though, Rick, they're going to improve everything, right? They're going to improve the beam forming. They're going to improve signal quality. They're just going to squeeze the most out of every drop of spectrum they have.
Have to.
That's going to take such a long time to do. Such a long time.
Yep. But this is only phase 1 we're at now. So the next phase in like the next 2 years, when that new hardware comes out and new radios come out, everything's going to get ripped and replaced again.
So right, and I guess that to Ricky's point, right? Here's what I do like passionately about the GigaMIMO. You're going to have that average 10 gigabyte speed wherever you go, and even on mid band, right, as well. It's capable of doing that actually.
Well, on 3 gigahertz, it'll be 256 by 256.
Right. Yeah, for the throughput.
But on the 12 gigahertz, 13, if we ever get that approved, and then all the millimeter wave stuff, that'll be the GigaMIMO. Yeah, and we're talking 3 miles indoor coverage with GigaMIMO. 3 miles indoor and 5 to 7 miles outdoor coverage.
Ricky, why you got getting people's hopes up, man?
Hey, I'm just saying.
I mean, it is coming. It's just gonna. Here's the thing, right? You don't even have to get just the hardware. That's only half of the equation. The other half of the equation is the actual RAN software.
You got to put Carlos's comment up there.
It's the RAN software, right? For all the parameters and stuff. Is that you have to code and actually test and implement. Do your lab testing and real world trials and field trials and stuff. So. Where did he put? Let's see. He thinks his ice cream cone is then. Yeah.
Oh my God. Good. That's comment of the night right there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Think about having like 10 ice cream cones. That's the way I look at it. So, not 1 but 10. Mm-hmm. Who wouldn't want 10 ice cream cones? I would.
Yo, shout out to Rage and Dusty. To be honest with you, I would not expect FirstNet, band 14 to N14. I wouldn't expect that for at least
Oh, come
another
on.
2 to 3
This
years.
this this band 14 NR is a waste of time. All
But let me tell you
all
this
this
though,
all
I
this
do
stuff is a waste of time. It's fake
I do
5G.
expect, but hear me out on this, Rick. I do expect FirstNet to be AT&T through FirstNet to receive an additional frequency band for FirstNet. It'll be a capacity band. It won't be a coverage band. It'll be a capacity band. The same way
And
that
what
they
band
did
is
band
that?
14, they'll be paid to deploy whatever that
And what
NR
band is
band
that?
will be.
There's no bands available.
There will be some spectrum there for them. I'm not even joking, Rick. It'll be like a
What frequency?
40 or a 60 megahertz swath, and I think they'll give it to them.
40 megahertz?
Yeah,
But where's it going to come from? What frequency?
I don't
There's
know.
nothing out there. Everything's used up.
I think there will be
There's no
some soon,
spectrum of it.
if that's
Oh
what you
yeah?
say, Ricky. Ricky, last year
Okay.
you gave me a weather prediction and you were off, bro. So don't hit me with that stuff about the frequencies. It's coming, bro. It's coming. Come on, Rick. With the
It,
FCC can't stay this bad for this long, right? Eventually, there has to be a bounce back.
yeah, you would think so.
I mean,
I
have
think
we
the
bottomed?
FCC is just going to keep running everything in the ground. And then China and
So
Japan and
so
everybody's going to
so
laugh at us.
so check this out. Like I've been down on the FCC for years. Not this,
Hmm.
just this version of the FCC. I'm talking about previous versions of it. It's not new that they suck. But like when Jessica Rosenworcel and this new FCC, after Ajit Pai, I said, hold on, let's wait. We'll see how things go, and then we'll kind of evaluate their performance. This might be one of the worst FCCs we've ever seen.
Oh,
This
yeah.
one right here might be the worst. They didn't even have a fifth commissioner for what, 2 years. They couldn't even appoint a fifth one. So if you want to talk about
Mhm.
dysfunction, they couldn't
Yep,
even get their house in order.
that's true.
So how are we going to have any type of direction, leadership?
Yeah.
You want to talk
Well,
about spectrum auctions and all this other
I
stuff, and
got
we
two
don't even have a
predict
fifth commit.
I got two predictions on 5G. Number one, if 5G Advance comes in the future, there's going to have to be a major price hike in wireless services to pay for it. There you go.
Well, you don't think they make enough money?
No, there's not enough money to rip and replace everything that's out there now. All that
Wait, why would?
N77 stuff has to come down. All the N41 stuff has to come down. It has to be replaced
Why?
with 256 by 256
Why would you rip and replace everything?
because you have to put new hardware up, new antennas and hardware and radios up so that you can double your bandwidth and you can double or like decrease in half your electric cost, the
Yeah, but
electric
why
bill.
does that have to happen now?
Well, not exactly now, within the next 2 years, I'm talking about. We're talking
You really
prediction.
you
I'm not
really think
saying
that they're going
now.
to do that in the next couple of years?
They have to because the data usage is going up and up and up. The FCC is not giving frequencies so that they can get more bandwidth. So they have to get new antennas and radios that will double the capacity, better QAM, better MIMO, and save the electric bill. This new stuff coming out is going to decrease the electric bill by 50% and double the speeds. So if you got 500 megabits per second, now you have a gig. Using the same bandwidth of frequencies, but you're putting new antennas and new hardware, new radios. That's what's going to have to happen.
Let me ask B. B, do you think it's going to play out that way? Do you think it's going to be as soon as in the next couple of years they're going to be reclimbing all these sites to put up more effective gear?
Uh, I mean, yes and no. Do it when they needed to, but I mean, I don't think it's something's gonna happen at scale, like you said, Sneed. I don't think it's gonna be like that. That
You know
work
what
is
I
already
foresee
being
it
done.
happening, B? I see it like a radio fails, they give it the upgraded gear, right? Um,
It's
a tower
possible.
site, yeah, a tower site needs a second antenna or radio. That one gets installed, but they still keep the other one. Like some of these antennas, Ricky, on macros are still small enough where they have space. They
Oh
might
yeah, they
swap
got
out
space.
hey Rick, they might swap out a CBRS antenna and radio and put in the new, massive MIMO one,
For
and
band 48,
it'll be an
you
entire
can't
3
do that.
gigahertz one.
But band 48 can't be upgraded on MIMO. The band 48 has to stay the way it is forever and ever and ever.
That's not what I said.
That's not even an upgradable technology.
That's not what I said. I said you take out the CBRS one and you replace it with one of the new antennas that you're talking about, the higher order, the new gear.
Well, that's the N77 antenna is what you have to replace. You have to take that 64 by 64.
Yeah, but you got two
out.
channels, so you might as well put up the second one anyways.
What do you mean 2 channels?
You have 2 channels of N77. You've got 160 megahertz of it.
Right, you got 160. That panel is capable of 200 megahertz.
I understand, but if you're trying to run it, if you're trying to get the best of the performance, running 2 is always better than running 1.
No.
No.
Use more electricity. That would be stupid.
But you're getting more spectral efficiency. You're getting a better quality performance.
Not really. Not really.
So then why are they putting up 2 C-band on all these other sites that I'm seeing?
You mean for AT&T?
No.
That's because it's 3,
Verizon. No, I'm talking about Verizon is putting, where they have 200 megahertz of C-band, they're putting up 2 C-band radios.
They're putting up 2 N77s?
Yes.
I haven't even heard about that.
I've seen it in places with 200 megahertz and places with 180.
They're putting up 2?
Yes.
Yeah, I did hear Carlos mention about that. He was talking about that when you're doing the full 180 on those panels, they're not performing very good. They're kind of like there's a flaw in it.
That could be just a generational thing, right? Yeah. The next edition is going to be better, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly why they need to get rid of that 64 by 64 crap like that and just go with the new 256 by 256 sub-band full duplex. If you go with that gear, then it's gonna perform right. But see, here's the problem. You got your RX antenna, your receive antenna, and your TX antenna on top of each other at the same place in the panels. When you increase the power, it knocks out the receive. So now you have less receive, but you got better transmit. By doing the full duplex thing, you're moving all the transmit on the bottom of the panel, and it's isolated with it's almost like a firewall in your house. It separates your house. So if it catches on fire, it don't burn down the other side either. So it's completely separate. So you have maximum receive capability on the bottom on those 64 antennas. And then on the top, you would have 64 receive antennas, and they're completely separated. So you can max the power out and get better spectral efficiency, but you don't have to worry about desensitizing and screwing up your receive. So you have better receive and better transmit. That's why everything's going to be ripped and replaced in 2 years, because they got to get rid of this technology that they just put up because it's already outdated. It's not performing properly. So the sub-band full duplex 256 by 256 MIMO is the future for 3 gigahertz. And then that's why probably Verizon is putting 2 of those up, putting 100 megahertz on one and putting 100 on the other, so that they can get, it's a band-aid until this new tech comes out. Doesn't surprise me at all.
I mean, AT&T has actually, by putting up the 2 radios, splitting DoD and the C-band, those frequencies.
Yeah, the 3.4 and the 3.7. Yeah, they had to do that.
Actually getting really good efficiency out of it, Rick. So like,
I see that 80 megahertz doing pretty good. Yeah.
I see that, so it's an 80-40, and so you got 120 combined. In proper RF conditions, I'm seeing over a gig, on these peak sites, and that's typically what Verizon does with 140.
Oh, well, we're not seeing that here in Vegas. I have never seen an N77 gig test. Never.
From AT&T?
Yeah, AT&T, you're lucky to get 500, 400, 300 down. There's just too much DC going on, and the sites are not optimized very good. So, yeah, the 3.7 and 3.4 with the current technology hardware is pretty much a flop, and they're finding it out real quick. So,
yeah, Ricky's not a big fan of DC. I'm not either. I'm looking forward to the day where all the sites are upgraded and you don't have to deal with it anymore.
Yeah, dual connectivity ruins a site.
Hey Rick, thanks for being on. B, thanks for being here. Big shout out to Moose.
Oh, absolutely.
And also Zero Cool.
It's always fun saying hi to you guys and everything and talking about stuff.
It was a pleasure.
I've been working a lot of hours now. I hope to have some live streams coming up here in the future. I got my computer fixed now. I got a new graphics card, so now I'm running my dual screen. I'm back in business, so So yeah, hopefully coming up here soon, we'll be doing a weekly live stream again. So talk more
We'll
about
keep you
tech
guys posted
stuff.
on Ricky's channel, guys. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
We got more content coming up on mine. He's going to be doing some stuff on his. I'm sure Carlos is going to be speed testing and doing some network testing in
Yeah, and
Vegas.
I'm going to be
the Super Bowl
going
week.
coming up here pretty soon. I'm going to be going down the strip too. I'm going to do a couple hour live stream up and down the strip doing some new testing with the S24.
Solid. Looking forward to it, Rick. You guys can find him. RLV Tech USA is his name, and Flying Drones is his game.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just did a drone video not too long ago too. If you guys missed it too, there was 5 racks on there.
Yo, Ricky, we out this piece. Peace.
See ya.